সামনেই থাকবে হ্যাঁ Hello students, today we will start a new chapter in science and this is for class 8. Now previously I have already sent you the study materials for class 8 biology. There you have seen that I have given you a video from the YouTube where they had, where the description of the transportation of water by the roots of the plant has been given. Various terms have been discussed in detail. What are the conducting tissues, their structure and function. Then you have got different terms like diffusion, osmosis, how the water is transported from the roots to the leaves along with the mineral salts, how the food is produced inside the leaves and how it is being translocated, means how the food is transported from the leaves to the different parts of the plant body. So all these things have been already discussed. Not only that, I have given you some definitions, some study materials also, so go through that and go through the video also carefully. Now since I had already given you the basic concept about the first chapter, so I would like you to take down some questions from the first chapter, that is transportation of water, or that can be the absorption of water by roots. It can be, means both the terms are the same. Transportation of water and absorption of water by the roots is the same. So whatever might be the heading, it comes to the same. So I would like you all to take some more questions from the first chapter and practice it at home. This is given to you as homework. So apart from the things that have been sent previously, you can also write down these questions. So please take out your notebook and you write down these questions over there. First one, how is the food produced in the leaves? How is the food produced in the leaves transported to the different parts of the plant? How is the food produced in the leaves transported to the different parts of the plant? There you have to write about the transpirational pool, how the water moves up, which is already given in the previous video. One more question you can write here, that is, name two micro and two macronutrients. Name two macro and two micronutrients. Just two names will do. These are the elements which are essential for the proper growth and development of the plant body. Some of the nutrients are required in very small amount, so they are known as the micronutrients, and some are required in large amount, so they are known as the microelements or the macronutrients. Okay. So other than that, you can practice some fill in the blanks also. I can give you some fill in the blanks like dash are multicellular thin-walled outgrowths of roots. Dash are, sorry, this is a wrong question, it will be unicellular, it will not be multicellular. Dash are unicellular thin-walled outgrowths of roots. So what will be this answer? The root hairs. The root hairs are the unicellular thin-walled outgrowths of roots. This is the basic difference between the root hairs and the shoot hairs. Those hair-like structures which come out from the shoot, they are multicellular in nature, and those hair-like structures which come out from the roots are unicellular. So it will be unicellular structure, and the answer is root hairs. Then you can also write that water in the xylem, take it down, water in xylem moves only in dash direction. Water in xylem moves only in dash direction. Now what will be this answer? You all know that with the help of the xylem tissue, the water and the minerals from the soil, they move up, isn't it, through the roots. They have to move to the leaves where they will manufacture the food. So automatically the answer is going to be upward direction because it's moving against the force of gravity. It's moving at the top. So the answer will be dash direction here is upward direction. Okay. Dash is the food conducting tissue in plants. Dash is the food conducting tissue in plants. This is also very simple. You know that the food conducting tissue in plants is phloem, P-H-L-O-E-M, and the water conducting tissue is xylem. Okay, so these type of fill in the blanks you can practice, and you can also practice the figure of the root hair. Okay, so just one extension you can give like this. This will be the root hair, and these are the epidermal cells. This is the outer part of the root. Okay, you will be getting the cytoplasm like this at the side. At the center you will be getting the vacuole. So the cytoplasm will be at the side and you will be getting the vacuole at the center like this. Okay, so this is a rough sketch of the root hair. So these type of questions you are going to practice and to go through the video which had already been uploaded. Go through that very carefully because you will come across many short questions. Means you can frame a number of short questions from that part. Okay, now we'll go to the next chapter now, since the first chapter is completed and we have also brushed up a little. Now we will go to the next chapter. Next chapter will not be chapter 2, it will be chapter 5 because we have done one chapter from the plant. You might be feeling bored if you go on doing the plant physiology again and again. So let us come to the chapter number 5, that is endocrine system. Achha, one thing students, since we are uploading the videos, you have to go through the videos carefully. Whatever will be taught in the video, you have to consider that as your syllabus. And follow the videos, means see how the teachers are teaching, what are the questions on which they are putting their emphasis, and prepare accordingly. Okay, so this chapter 5, is endocrine system, which will be in your syllabus. It's understood. Chapter 1 we have completed. Next is chapter 5, that is endocrine system. Endocrine system in humans. Okay, so what is meant by the endocrine system? Now, in the case of the human beings and also in the case of animals, there are two systems which control all the functions of the body. One is the nervous system and the other one is the endocrine system. The nervous system will control the functions of the body with the help of the messages that they send, and the endocrine system helps in controlling the activities of the body by producing hormones. Okay, so actually there are three types of glands in your body. One is glands. Three types of glands are there in our body. One is the exocrine gland, one is the endocrine gland, and the other one is the mixed gland, or we can call it heterocrine, Heterocrine. I hope all of you can see the board clearly. Now, glands, three types, we can categorize them under three heads: exocrine gland, endocrine gland, mixed gland. So we are going to deal with the endocrine gland only. But before that, you should know what the meaning of these terms. Exocrine glands are those glands which have got ducts inside them. Something is a gland, it has got certain ducts. So what will happen? It produces certain substances known as enzymes, and these enzymes move out of the gland with the help of these ducts. Okay, so these are the glands which have got ducts, and they produce substances known as enzymes which move out through the ducts. Endocrine glands are those glands which do not have ducts in them. Okay, so directly what happens? Their secretions are known as hormones, and these hormones come out of the gland with the help of the blood flow, either through the blood or through a substance, circulating substance in our body, which is called the lymph. There are mainly two circulating fluids in our body. One is blood, one is lymph, and the hormones are carried by the blood or the lymph from one part of the body to the other part. Why? Because these glands do not have ducts, so they cannot be carried by the ducts. Okay, so endocrine glands are ductless glands, means glands which do not have ducts. And what are the substances rather which are formed from the endocrine glands? Those are known as hormones. What are mixed glands? From the name you can understand. It has got some exocrine part, it has also got some endocrine part. Then it becomes a mixed gland. One very common mixed gland which you are going to study here is pancreas. You will find that this particular gland, it is able to produce enzymes, it is also able to produce hormones. Enzymes means it is a part of the exocrine gland, hormones means it is a part of the endocrine gland. So it has got both. That's why it's called the mixed or the heterocrine gland. Okay. Now, just if they ask you the question, what are endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are ductless glands which produce chemical messengers called hormones. Now, if they put the question like this, what is a hormone? Now, hormone is a chemical messenger which is produced by the ductless glands or endocrine glands, and they are carried from one part of the body to the other with the help of the bloodstream or the lymph. Okay, those parts which are responding to the hormones, those parts are called the target organs. Means those organs which get stimulated when the hormones fall on them, those parts are called the target organs. So they are having their action on the target organs. So in the case of hormones, you know, they are produced in one place, that is the endocrine gland, and they are having their action on some other part, that is the target organ. And how is it being carried? It's being carried with the help of the blood or with the help of the lymph. Okay. So the site of origin is different from the site of action. That means it is being produced in one part, it's having the action in the other part. Okay. Now we will go to the next part. Here we have to study some endocrine glands. Before coming to the endocrine glands, one by one, we have to study the differences also. Means you can get, let me discuss a bit about the questions that you might be getting from the part that I taught just now. They might ask you what is a hormone, they might ask you what are endocrine glands, they might ask you what are the different types of glands in our body. Give an example of a mixed gland. Give the differences between endocrine gland and exocrine gland, which you can write. Give the differences between hormone and enzyme, that also you can write. Okay. Now we come to the different types of endocrine glands. Now we start with the pituitary. Now remember, there are many endocrine glands in our body. The important ones will be discussed. Now there is one gland in the brain portion. Okay, there is a part in the brain called the hypothalamus. I think you have studied that in class 7. Now, at the base of the hypothalamus, you get a very small gland which is known as the pituitary gland. So, first you should know the location of each of the gland. First gland is pituitary. Pituitary gland. Where is it located? At the base of the hypothalamus. What is hypothalamus? It's a part of the brain. Okay? And it is connected with the hypothalamus by a stalk-like structure. You will study it in details in class 10. Anyways, Now just remember, if they ask you about the location, you will write it is found in the brain, means at the base of the hypothalamus, and is connected with it by a stalk-like structure. Now it actually has got 3 parts, okay, and different types of hormones come out from those 3 parts or those 3 lobes of the pituitary gland. In your book, they have just discussed a little bit about the hormones coming out from the pituitary gland. I will just separate them because 2 categories have been given. I will just separate them under 2 heads. That is, from the pituitary gland, the most important things that you get are the tropic hormones, and you will be getting the growth hormone. Okay, these 2 will come out from the first lobe or the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. What are these tropic hormones? Tropic hormones are those hormones which are produced from the pituitary gland, and they have their action on the other glands. Now, other than pituitary, there are many means endocrine glands like thyroid, and then you have pancreas. I've already told you. Adrenal gland, will come to that one after the other. Now you will find here that the tropic hormones are the hormones which are coming out from the pituitary gland, and these hormones are having their action on the other glands of the body. That means these hormones are controlling the action of the other glands. So we can say that pituitary is a master gland. It is a master because it is controlling the other glands of the body. How is it controlling? By producing certain hormones like tropic hormones, which are being produced by the pituitary, and that's going to the other glands, and it is controlling the other glands, controlling the secretion of the other glands. Is it clear? So this is one category. Second category can be growth hormone. Now in growth hormone, you will find it's just a hormone that will control the growth and development of the human body or the body of an animal, whatever you call it. Okay, now if it is produced in very less amount, you will find that the person will be like a dwarf, means very short heighted. The body development will also be less. Okay, and if it is produced in a very large amount, then the person will be like a giant, and a lot of metabolism will also be there, and you will find that the bones, the long bones, the development of the long bones will be quite high. Okay, so all these symptoms you have to keep in mind. So it has to be produced in such an amount that the normal height and normal growth and development of the person is maintained. So the normal growth and development of a person is maintained by the growth hormone, which is a product of the pituitary gland. So 2 things you have to keep in mind here, that why is the pituitary called the master gland? Master gland. Master, M-A-S-T-E-R, master. Because it is producing tropic hormones which can control the functioning of the other glands of the body. And why is this important? What is the other hormone coming out of it? One is the growth hormone, which is controlling the growth and development, especially the growth in the height of a person, the development of the bones of the person, etc. Next one, now what happens if these hormones are not produced in the right proportion? I told you, if the growth hormone is less, then that will be known as, the person will be dwarf, means short heighted, and that condition will be called dwarfism. Dwarfism means person will not have the proper growth. Okay. Next, if it is produced in excess, then a condition will be created which is known as gigantism. Okay, gigantism. So when a person becomes excessively developed, excessively tall, etc., that is known as gigantism. Next one, we come to the thyroid hormone. So after dealing with these 2, we will come to the thyroid hormone, thyroid gland, and the hormone which comes out from the thyroid gland is the thyroxine. Now first we should know the location. Now thyroid is exactly found at the base of this larynx. This is the voice box. When we speak, if you just touch this portion, you can feel that it is vibrating, because we are having vocal cords over here and they vibrate and they produce sound. So just at the base of this larynx and at the starting of the trachea or the windpipe, you will be getting a pair of lobes which are called the thyroid gland. thyroid gland, just beneath the larynx. Remember this word larynx, at the mouth of this windpipe, what you can call trachea also. So you can see two lobes like this, two lobes, and they are being connected by one structure. These are the two lobes of the thyroid gland, and inside these lobes you will be getting a number of small sac-like structure, very small sac-like structures, which are called the follicles. Okay. Now from these follicles, the hormone, that is thyroxine, thyroid gland produces thyroxine hormone. This thyroxine hormone is produced. Thyroxin. So from the lobes, or rather the follicles of the thyroid gland, you will be getting the hormone thyroxine, which will be controlling the metabolism. It's called, the cellular oxidation is controlled by it, and it's called basal metabolic rate. So this term you have to keep in mind, BMR, that is basal, BASAL, basal metabolic rate. Metabolic rate. So this thyroxine will control the basal metabolic rate. In short, we call it BMR. That means it will, in short, we can say it just controls metabolism of the body, because it brings about the metabolism of glucose, it brings about metabolism of proteins and fats, and the general energy level also it is maintaining. So that is the main function of the thyroxine produced by the thyroid gland. Now, other than this thyroxine, there is one more. Hormone which you have to keep in mind, that is called calcitonin. Calcitonin. Now, what does this calcitonin do? As you can see, this calcitonin will control the calcium level in your blood. So two hormones are coming out. One is thyroxine. Thyroxine is controlling the basal metabolic rate, and the other hormone, that is calcitonin, that will maintain the amount of calcium in your blood. So when there is more calcium in your blood, the excess calcium will get deposited on the bones, and when there is less calcium in your blood, then the calcium will dissolve out from the bones and reach the blood. Okay, so these two hormones you have to keep in mind. What will happen if there is a deficiency? Now, if this thyroxine is produced in less amount, I told you thyroxine is controlling the metabolism. So if this thyroxine is produced in less amount, then metabolism will also be slow. If metabolism is slow, what will happen? The person will become very sluggish, will not feel like doing any work, isn't it? The metabolism becomes slow, you will not feel like doing any work. And if you don't feel like doing any work, you'll be sitting in one place and your weight will increase. So the blood circulation will also be slow in your body. Heartbeat will be slightly affected. So general metabolism rate will also fall. So these are some of the symptoms of what? Hypothyroidism. Hypo means less. When thyroxine is less in the body, metabolism is also less. So when metabolism is less, weight is more. Person doesn't feel like working, because you don't get the energy to work due to the less metabolic rate. Thus the opposite thing will happen. If the thyroxine level is more, then person will become very energetic, because a lot of metabolism is taking place in the body. So a lot of energy is produced. Person becomes very energetic, and the blood circulation will also increase, heartbeat will also increase, and there will be a tendency of the person to become very lean and thin. That condition is called hyperthyroidism. Okay, hyperthyroidism, and the other one where there is less thyroxine secretion, that is called hypothyroidism. Okay, now with that we complete the thyroid gland. So in the next class we will continue with the other glands. Thank you.